So the Nuggets win the 2023 NBA championship. To my surprise, obviously they proved me wrong. I've been bashing them all year, and they really had what was a heck of an impressive run. If you really look down to it, their record through the whole thing, 16-4, which is like pretty insane to do that. They lost one game to Minnesota in the first round. Second round had their closest series by far, where they were tied at one point with the Suns 2-2, and then they just won the last two, win that series 4-2, sweep the Lakers. To my surprise, I was really thinking Lakers in 6, was very wrong. Nuggets just overpowered them, and then they beat the Heat in 5, which is what I thought was going to happen. The Heat, they were just out of gas. Jimmy Butler, towards the end of that, just looked exhausted. He was just gone in certain quarters for them. He saved it at the end, almost saved it at the end of that game, but he would just disappear because he was just exhausted from just having to carry that team through that entire postseason. And it's no shame to them. Great run for Miami. To be an 8 seed, come from the second game of the play-in tournament to the finals, unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But if you're really looking at this Nuggets team, great run overall. And now you got to start thinking Dynasty here. If you look at the Western Conference next year, if you look at the entire NBA next year, I don't see any other team that's possibly a favorite. I just don't. I can't look at any of those teams and say another team's a favorite. The Celtics have their own issues to work out. We don't even know what's going on with that roster. The Suns, kind of flaky. We don't know what's going on with the ins and the outs of that roster either. Philadelphia, just inconsistent. New head coach. Harden, aging, disappears in certain games. So Nuggets are by far the favorite. And then if you just look at the Western Conference, there's stars in the Western Conference. You have KD Suns. You have LeBron AD Lakers. You have Kawhi Paul George Clippers. But at the same time, these guys are all getting old. These guys are getting old and brittle. The Nuggets, other than that, aside from that Jamal Murray injury and maybe some Michael Porter back injuries, is pretty rare that they have their injuries. They're a pretty consistent team. They're probably the most skilled team as well out of all of them, and they probably have the best. They do have the best chemistry out of all of them. So if you're looking at it from that perspective, the West, unless a big move is made to the Lakers or the Suns make a move as well, and unless everybody stays healthy, which it just seems like it never happens with some of those teams, the Nuggets are going to breeze through it again. They breezed through it this year. And everybody's just going to get older. So, I mean, the league these days, it's in their favor. They don't have to play these young teams like the Celtics, the Heat, the 76ers. They don't have to play them. The Bucks, they don't have to play them till they would have to get to the finals. Because the West is at a point where it's just not as strong as it was. I forgot about the Warriors too, but the Warriors, even Steph's getting old, and they don't know what's going to happen with their surrounding guys like Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins. We just don't know what's going to happen yet. But right now, they just got to be the favorite. I could see a dynasty in the future if other teams aren't put together or chemistry isn't struck. We're in a different NBA than we were in 5 years ago. It's not as much of a team-up game anymore at this point. You have to build somewhat of chemistry. You just have to. So we'll see what happens with everything. But yeah, they proved me wrong. They won the championship. Well-deserved from Jokic balled out. He deserved the finals MVP. He deserves some respect now. Respect that, I didn't have for him before. I do now. And yeah, overall, huge win for them. A dynasty could be going. They remind me a lot of the San Antonio Spurs. If you look at it, their first title that they ever won was against an 8 seed from the East as well. And they were just kind of one of those teams, they stayed pretty stoic. And, they might not have been the most fun team to watch ever, but they were just very skilled and they were very on top of their games. So great championship for the Denver Nuggets. And I'm excited to see, what the league pivots to and what other players and other teams do to try to, corrupt the dynasty that I think could be on hand here.